When the outdated tactics get left behind, it's time we stop. Marketers look around when your ranking's going down. It's the Jim and Ann Show, Jim and Ann Show, do. I'm Jim, that's Ann, unless she's on this side of me.
No, I'm here,
There you are, there's
I'm not to the right and I'm not on the top. I'm here.
Ann's there. All right, so Ann, I'd love to ask you about FAQ schema. When do you use it? Where do you use it? Tell me everything about it.
As of now, I think I saw some study that it's one of the most clickable rich snippets out there, which was surprising to me because I thought that the reviews schema, like the product schema with the ratings, would be the most clickable, but they say FAQs as the most clickable ones. So in a word, if you use that structured schema on the page to point Google to where you quickly answer popular questions on this topic, and you mark it up with schema, Google would generate that rich snippet where it would show collapsible questions. If you click on it, it would collapse and show you the answer. The beauty of it, twofold. So first, it takes up a lot of space on the Google search result pages. So your snippet is basically more noticeable because somehow it gets bigger with those questions underneath. And secondly, and not many people know that, if you answer those questions and you add quick internal links to other pages of your site or even the current page of where you're answering those, Google would also show these underneath as the answers. So you'll get more clicks inside that search snippet.
So you're saying that on the page where maybe you've got a series of questions or a question, it's usually, you're going to have the question, what is the best way to install a widget, and underneath it, usually the answer is a paragraph of text. It might be a list, it might be a table, but let's pretend it's a paragraph of text. That's the most common one. You're saying when you ask the question on top and you kind of answer it on your page in that paragraph, that in that paragraph, you can put links to your money pages.
Exactly.
So if someone's in that Google search result page, if they're like, how do I install a widget? And, they see your site listing and underneath it, there's some questions as well. And if they click on the, how do you install a widget in the search result? And you get a little drop down that you can put links in your paragraph of text so that when people are reading that paragraph, they might be like, oh, click. And it's like another link on that Google search result page. But yeah, very few people do that or think about it. You don't want someone just to read the answer and be like, okay.
That's one of the most common recommendations, which I do when I see little FAQs on pages of our clients. And the requirements for that markup are very flexible too. So you don't have to use FAQ schema on just FAQ page. You can use them anywhere you answer more than 2 questions, more than 2 related questions already are considered FAQs. So it could be product page, it could be category page, it could be article, how-to guides, basically anywhere if it makes sense for that user intent and for that particular page. So if those are product related questions that you see people are asking, or they're asking that from people also ask results in Google. If it's that, you can address that question and use the FAQ schema. The only thing for the product page to keep in mind that those rich snippets do not combine very well very often. So if you think that product schema works better for user intent, here in some particular cases, I would choose that rich snippet over FAQ rich snippet. So, and another requirement from Google is that those questions should be visible on the page, not just in the code with the schema. You do have that content on the page. So that's very important because otherwise Google would get angry. So those two are basically the only requirements to use when you want to generate those rich snippets in search. they are very common right now. Even a year ago, you would see like one result per page that would have that rich snippet. Now I see them all the time. Again, that might be changing. We know that Google takes some action when something gets very popular with website owners. So, but for now, it's quite an easy way to improve your click-through from search results and even add more clickable links inside your search snippet.
Cool.
The only thing that I'm not sure, Jim, what's your opinion on using FAQs on all kinds of pages? Would you recommend using them on particular types of pages, or would you recommend using them everywhere?
I'm more sensitive to product pages, e-commerce pages, category pages. Whereas a year ago, let's say I've got, I don't know, the blue widget product page. In the past, if it's like a buy the blue widget page, an e-commerce page, here's a blue widget or multiple blue widgets with dollars and you can buy them. A year ago, I'd be like, throw everything in the world about blue widgets on that page, every question, everything. And now I've changed on that stance where if it's an e-commerce page, I don't want to have a lot of informational stuff on there. I don't want Google to get confused and think this e-commerce page is actually an informational page. And then only rank that page for informational queries. That's what I don't want. And so a lot of times if the FAQ question is something like how to install a blue widget, whereas in the past I'd put that on the page. Now what I would do is put that on a separate page. Now I might ask the question on the product page, here's popular informational things, and maybe put the question, but not the answer. And the question would go to another page. And that other page, the title tag, and the H1 is going to be, how to install blue widgets, and we'll have a, page talking about how to install it. And instead of having that on the money page. Now, sometimes I'm okay with having FAQs on product page if they're commercial intent. But if they're not commercial intent, today I'm more apt to say, go ahead and list the question on the product page, but link to the other page that answers that question. So informational pages, I'm fine with having tons of FAQs on any of those. It's just category or product pages. Often we've been removing a lot of the content that we once put on these pages and moving them to other pages, and either removing them all or just keeping the e-commerce related questions on the e-commerce page.
Yeah, I also like to add that Google search engine result pages would give you some clues as to whether it's a good idea or not. You will see if your competitors have those rich snippets, or if there are a lot of people also ask results about that product in particular. Like people could be asking, how much does it cost? How much would I save? Or something like that. So usually just search for that term and see what you can find from there. And maybe if you have some doubts, use that on one page for testing purposes, and then see how that goes. If you're going to lose rankings, suddenly if Google thinks that that's informational page, then you will have to remove it and just keep other pages intact.
You know what I noticed in SEMrush the other day? I'm not sure how long it's been there because we use their API inside of our tools, so I mostly use those. But the other day I was on SEMrush and I saw that next to URLs, they were trying to designate, is this an informational page, commercial page, navigational page? Is it page or phrases? Something like that. And I'm like, oh, they're trying to guess now whether this may have been phrase-based. It may have been.
Yep, I've seen that. I think Ahrefs has something like that as well recently. I will have to double check, but usually those are for keyword research tools. Yeah. So the section where you get the keywords, whether it's which search queries your site is ranking, or just when you are trying to find more. I'm not sure how they making those.
I don't think it's probably too hard. Like anything with a brand name, you're going to call it a navigational. So that one's easy. Informational be anything, any phrase that's got, how, where, why, when. Yeah. And then that's probably their best guess. Everything else must be commercial. I don't know.
Yeah, but even though, like, I can imagine someone typing how to buy a laptop.
Oh, I know. You tie it into pay-per-click ads, and if there's people bidding a lot of money for them, then it's a commercial.
That's true. That's true. Even though, yeah, that's an interesting update.
Yeah.